Hello, it is a beautiful spring day, so I figured I should take you on a tour of the homestead where we are in the beginning of spring. It changes so much over the next few months, but also to kind of inventory what projects I have to do, because there's a lot of them, and I think going through everything that I want to get done in the next couple of months before like the growing season, the harvest season is like really in full force, will be helpful and help me prioritize. So I'm down here at the end of the driveway. I'm going to put up this flag that we were gifted for Easter. We are so excited for the bees. We are going full send. Okay, so our first task is done. I figured I'd walk up the driveway and show what we have to do, because it literally starts the moment you step foot on the property. This area, it's in the woods, but it does get a lot of sun. I want to be mindful as these leaves come in, but I would like to put like a wildflower mix in there. I've seen people do that. I don't have the best area in my yard, so that could potentially be an option, is some landscaping there, although very far down the priority list. Now, the driveway itself, we have had a lot of washout. We have a lot of springs up there, so a lot of water flows down. You can see we've patched this a little bit, but we definitely use the driveway a lot more than the people before did. So it gets more wear and tear, and they were like 90 years old when they sold the place. So some of the things just got a little like out of maintenance mode. So you can see here, washout. So we need some more gravel for sure. There's a spring into our house, and then it also hooks up to this hose. I think because of all the freezing and thawing, something happened with the hose. So this looks like this, and it's supposed to be beautiful kind of pump and pond. So I think we need some landscaping and just to reconnect that hose. That should hopefully be an easy one. Another thing in the aesthetics, not a need to have, but a nice to have. Okay, so we live in the woods. We've had so many windstorms. There are branches down everywhere. We were expecting more and more wind, so we kind of put off stick collecting. But it needs to get done because we need to cut the grass. You can see a lot over here as well, and definitely up in the field, especially along the perimeter. General landscaping, leaf blowing. The leaves are insane. So if we can just get the leaves done, I've already gotten a lot of them from the back, and Reno kind of just mulched them with the tractor. So we have a little bit more to go, especially out here in the front. Something that we've done very successfully is used our chip drop chips. We've done a lot of landscaping, you can see here. Let me take you up to the flower beds. This was a disaster last year. So the fact that we got it torn out, trimmed down, and put all of this up here is good. I do want to add some different landscaping up here. There's a local greenhouse that I want to check out, but I think it'll be a really good opportunity to get some good pollinators for our bees in here. So just going through and doing the rest of that, but it's in a really good spot. So yeah, I used to say I don't like flowers, I'm not into all of that, but I think if I can get some nice permanent flowers in there, we can keep it unweeded. I think I will like flowers more. What did I tell you? We love bees and bee flags. All right, so that's the front yard, up the driveway, just some general outdoor stuff. I also have some very gracious friends and family members that want to come help with stuff, so we'll have a list of things for them to help with as well. All right, here are our chicks in the brooder. They will be here for a couple of more weeks before they go out to the chicken tractor. But we've had a couple of rounds of chicks in there already. which is exciting. Only one more round of chicks. We'll do them in the fall for another round of meat birds. Another thing being in the garage is reminding me of. In the attic, we put all of our beehives and things like that, so I need to get those out and paint those and have them ready because we could be getting the bees anytime, and I want to be prepared for them to come rather than have it be reactionary. Another thing is I have potting soil here. I need to get the green stalk out. I'll show you where I put my green stalk. I use it as like a little bit of a kitchen garden, but I didn't love my results last year. I think there were a few things that contributed to it, but one of those I definitely want to get more potting soil in there. Different potting soil. So here is my growing station. I'm actually using like shop lights. I was hesitant to show you guys these because I want to make sure that it's something that I can stand behind, but they were a lot cheaper than grow lights themselves, and I think everything's going pretty well so far. Here are my starts that have been under there the longest. And those need up potted. So these are just tomatoes and peppers getting started in here. My frost date isn't until the beginning of May, so we have some time. A little late, we still have some time, but that is my grow station. And I do have a second set of lights that I will put up, but for the time being, just rotating them because it's every 12 hours has worked. That's definitely a cost savings if you'd like that. Do you want to come out, Moose? Moose. Moose. All right, so this is our front porch area, and this is where I put the green stalk. It is right off of the kitchen, so it's nice. We'll go up to the field where my larger garden is, but I just want to grow some greens and some herbs, just some easy stuff to pull from when we're preparing meals. So we will get that set up. I think I can start lettuce and kale, and we'll definitely use that. So it's kind of the just around the house area. So this is only our second year living here. We've lived here for just a little over a year. I was in the city before, and it amazes me just how much I can like walk around my own property. It's wonderful. And not not see people, but we did a lot on year one. We did gardening, canning, meat birds, egg laying birds, and this year we're really not adding anything new. We're adding bees. But we're not adding anything new that's like a daily task. We're just kind of optimizing what we had. So it's fun to learn from what we did last year. A lot of lessons learned. But I'm feeling a lot more like in control and that we're going to be productive. Hey, Moose. Okay, so here we are at the field. It's about a 5-acre field. And to be honest, I really hesitate with what to do up here because I don't want to stifle future growth. If I ever want larger animals or anything like that, you know, this is such a large pasture area. They did have cows up here before. I don't want to like pigeonhole us in and build things that are so permanent it would be difficult to undo them. But we have started to add some things, make some decisions, but you always want to keep what you might want to do in the future in mind. So if you saw my chip drop video, we probably used about half of them. I really want to save a lot to use in my garden as well, and I would love to get another delivery. We used this last year as part of our garden. I planted the squashes in them. Don't know what I'm going to do with it this year. Probably something different. I would love ideas. Can you see the shadow of that hawk? There's 2 of them. Okay, so we have a lot of branches down, as you can see. Like, our property is kind of the field line here, so before we're able to really cut this in earnest, we need some stick pickup. But that can be a fun job. Put some music on, put a podcast on. Not bad, but we should probably do that soon. The field is finally dry enough where it probably makes sense to cut it. It's fun to cut the grass with Moose. He will just run next to you, circle after circle. Here's our chicken tractor. So I'll do a full in-depth video on this, but this is what we use to do our pasture raised meat birds. So those chicks that we just saw inside will be out here in a couple weeks once they're fully feathered. I do need to get the tarp on over this to protect them from the elements, and we put the waterer in here as well, but this is pretty good to go. We have the wheels out here. We kind of benefited from not putting it away last year, but ow. Okay, this is where our garden goes. We did have it up here last year. You can see we have some very healthy looking garlic and some flies. I want to get at least some of this tilled this weekend because I want to get my onions in the ground. I am using weed fabric this year, which I'm so excited for. And my neighbor Larry is designing us a water system to be fed from the spring. Wow, did you hear that? To be fed from a watering system in the spring, from the spring, and then have it be gravity fed. Want to use some drip irrigation. That'll be a huge benefit for us. We are so far from the house. We want a way to get water up here, and since we have a spring, it'd be awesome rather than feeding it from the house. So yeah, this is our garden space. I am so excited to see what this transforms into. We put it up here because it gets so much sunlight. This is one of the flatter areas of the field. We didn't have too much issue last year with it kind of being on a hill, but yeah, it was great. But now you see the need for needing like a kitchen garden and my green stalk down there as well, because this is certainly a hike and you can't just like go out and grab dinner quickly. You can, but that just makes it more accessible. Okay, here is our composting station. You can see even just from getting some rain and stuff, it has really gone down a lot since we put our last round of bedding in here, but we need to get that turned and add a little bit to it. But this is what we've got going on for compost. It's really nice because it is so close to the garden. The chicken coop is down there, so I feel like it's in a really good spot. I just need to tend to it a little bit more. The last addition that we have, or the last thing that I want to show you in the field, so we have the garden, the composting, the chicken tractor, is our orchard. And this, even though it just went in last week, is already a lesson learned. Okay, so we recently got fruit trees through a local county's conservation organization department. They were heavily discounted. Really nice trees. They were $14 a piece, which is such a great value. So I recommend checking out local organizations if you want to add some fruit trees. The big thing here is protecting them against deer. We picked up the trees, got them planted, got them mulched, of course, and watered, and didn't have our deer solution in place. So we went out, we got T-posts, and we got some deer netting. Night one, the deer netting, or like the day after, the deer netting was like whipping around, wrapped up in the electric pole. So we did get it reestablished. Well, we didn't put it up there yet. But then the issue was the deer were already running into it. So we put some streamers. We may be the world's most patriotic, appear to be the world's most patriotic people. Little bit of an eyesore. Our neighbors do have a view into the field, so we want to be mindful of that. So we are going to pivot, and we're going to do wire around each tree, kind of make a cage for it, mulch it. I think it'll provide more protection. It will be a little bit more expensive. We went with the cheapest option. That's just not going to work. So it'll provide more protection, and it'll probably be easier for cutting the grass as well, rather than having one kind of enclosed space. So we also have a couple more trees to add. So that's one thing we're going to be doing here in the very near future, is just kind of fencing each one in. We're really excited for these. They were a great find. They actually were recommended from one of the beekeeping Facebook groups that I'm in for our area. You know, great for pollen. So walking up the field here, I will give you a big view of the field. Okay, so here we are up at the top of the hill. There's a little bit more. So just to give some perspective, there's the chicken tractor. That's probably as far in that direction as it'll go. We pull it as far as the hose will reach for daily waterings. I don't know how that will change with our spring-fed watering system if we're going to be able to water from that, but maybe. Our garden is in the middle there. So closest kind of to the house and in the middle of the field. We do put a fence up around that, and then our orchard is over there. So here I am saying we didn't add anything new this year. We are definitely expanding our garden. We added an orchard and we're adding bees, but no new mammals, I should say, on the homestead this year. No new animals in general. So next is, where do the bees go? I talked about needing to paint the hives and get them protected, but I think I'm going to put them up here. It's really important to have them in the sun, yet away from people. I want it to be a little bit far away from my garden, so I'm not like aggravating them, so probably up here on the field. We also want to be able to get the lawnmower around it, about 20 or 30 feet in each direction, but I think it'll be good up here to be close to the trees, close to the garden, yet far enough away from us, so we'll need to build a platform for it. We do have some pallets that I think we might put them on. Yeah, we have some leftover paint from the cabin, outdoor paint, that we're going to paint some of them, and it's a gray color, and I got a really bright bee yellow to paint the other hive, so that'll be fun. We need to get to that. So this is going to be my virtual to-do list, and I'm kind of scared when I go to edit this video to make my whole to-do list, but these are things I want to get done in the next month or so on the outside. Oh, and one other thing. So we have so much work to do outside, which is amazing. It's amazing. It's so beautiful out. I'm so excited. Something that often falls to the bottom of the priority list is how we're going to feed ourselves. So my freezers are overflowing. They just need organized, especially as we're going to start putting things in the freezer come summer, vegetables, chicken, etc. So I want to take some time to organize that, but also to make easy, ready-to-go meals so that when we're outside doing all this stuff, we can have some quick meals. So that'll also be something, probably will be a rainy day activity next time we have them, but that's also a spring chore that I want to get to, is just preparing some easy meals and utilizing the things that are in our freezer and on our shelves to make room for 2023 food preservation. Last year was the first time I ever really preserved food, canned, you know, froze from the garden. So I had no idea how much to use. I definitely was like a little stingy and held on to it longer than I should have, but now it's definitely a free-for-all with whatever is in the pantry, because we should be getting new in the coming months. Moose. One thing about the hawked and aerial predators, not saying that it can't happen, and I honestly think one of ours did get taken by an aerial predator last year, but because our house and the chicken coop is kind of set down in the woods, we're not as susceptible to aerial predators like we are in the woods. I mean, like we are in the field up here. So that is definitely one benefit, but there is like a baby hawk nest around here. There's a bunch of them up there, which makes me a little bit nervous, but that is one benefit we have to how we have kind of like situated things and laid things out. They're able to free range more down there, which is good. I already walked to the top of the hill. Now I need to go chase moose again. Moose! So we are back at the house. That kind of rounds out our tour. We started at the bottom of the driveway, went up, checked some things out at the house, in the field. We've got a lot going on, but I'm so excited. I think it is all very doable. I just need to prioritize some of these projects. I can't wait to show you what it looks like in a month or 2 months. It is going to be such a stark contrast to all of these sticks, although it is starting to get a little bit green, but we are going to see signs of growth and life. I have so many things that I learned last year that I'm taking into this year. You know, just even being year one in a house, getting like house projects done, not that we still don't have those, we're going to be really able to produce a lot of food and just create a beautiful atmosphere here for spring and summer. I'll be excited to share all the projects and the updates with you. Please share with what the spring projects you're working on at your home. I love inspiration, and I know there's so much that I can learn from all of you as well. So stay tuned to see how we progress through the summer months, and we will see you back soon.